Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws of God, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me? Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history?
Hey, welcome back. You are now tuned into
Our Hidden History radio show.
We're back, man. We're back. Welcome back. We are now still in the Persian captivity. We left off in the Persian captivity. We're going to continue in the Persian captivity. As you can see, he finally managed to get some shirts now. He's looking more official now. Oh,
Crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good. So, let's open up with Nelson's Battle Maps and Charts. Open up with that real quick. We're going to go to page 283. Did I give you that? Probably didn't. I don't even remember giving that a page. Page 283? No, right?
1037.
No 283?
No, sir.
That's my fault. I am slipping. All right, well, pass it up. Pass this up to them. 283. All right, well, I'll just talk in the meantime. So, so far we left off with Malachi was the last book. Malachi was the one that filled in for Nehemiah in his absence when Israel was going to hell off. As you know, when Nehemiah was governor, he took leave of absence from work, and he came back. While he was gone, Malachi had to take over, had to take the reins and so forth. And what else? We had Esther, Malachi,
And Nehemiah.
and Ezra at the same time. A lot going on. Those of y'all who watched yesterday's Sabbath class, that just goes to show you just how dangerous Persia was, because Persia really had Israel like deeply assimilated into society, man. Like no one could be exclusive. All cultures merged into one. There was a lot of temptation that Israel faced, a lot of opposition that Israel faced in the midst of that empire. They were not allowed to be exclusive people or separate people. And that's very tempting because everybody's pretty much all one. It's just like today in America. You know, everyone's celebrating Christmas. Everybody's celebrating Thanksgiving, and they got the trees up. Everybody's in the spirit, as they say, of these holidays. And you're the only one that's up there saying, oh, that's nice. You know, you're not paying attention. You know, and everyone's like, you know, so it makes you, it's kind of tempting because you're like, damn, you know, I can't celebrate this anymore. You know, we have our own feast days, of course, and we give gifts, but not the same. It isn't the same. Well, in your mind, it isn't the same because you can make it the same. But it's just the fact that everyone around you is observing all these days and these feasts and festivals and so forth, and you're the only one that's like not.
That's a setup, bro.
Exactly. It is definitely a setup.
Like a peer pressure.
Yeah, peer
Like
pressure,
in
right.
high
Peer
school.
pressure. Exactly.
You know, peer pressure.
Right. So, all praises, thank you. So we're going into Malachi now. We left off at Malachi chapter 1, verse 1 through 8, where he mentions, in chapter 2, where he mentions the governor, about how the Levites was going to hell off, and how they were offering up lame animals, and how Malachi said, why don't you offer to the governor? Offer those lame animals to the governor. You know, you're blaspheming the Lord's name. So now we're going to continue. We're going to read about Malachi real fast before we go somewhere else. Malachi chapter, let's read that top there. We're going to read that. Read it on the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Malachi, a prophet in the days of Nehemiah, directed his message of judgment to a people plagued with corrupt priests, wicked practices, and a false sense of security. Using the question and answer method, Malachi probes deeply into their problems of hypocrisy, infidelity, mixed marriages, divorce, false worship, and arrogance. For 400 years after Malachi's ringing condemnations, God remained silent. Only with the coming of John the Baptist in chapter 3, verse 1, does God again communicate with his people through a prophet's voice. Author. The name Malachi means my messenger, although some have considered it a title rather than a name. This is unlikely since such a usage would be unique among the prophets. Unknown to us apart from the superscription to this book, Malachi was the last of the Old Testament prophets and the author of this final book of the Old Testament. Date. Although an exact date cannot be established for Malachi, internal evidence can be used to deduce an approximate date. The use of the Persian term for governor, Pekah, chapter 1, verse 8, indicates that the book was written during the Persian domination of Israel. The temple had been rebuilt since sacrifices were being offered in the temple, chapter 1, verses 7 to 10. In addition, Malachi's oracle addressed the same problems that Nehemiah faced. Corrupt priests, chapters 1, 6 to 2. Chapters 1, verse 6, and chapters 2, verse 9. Nehemiah, chapter 13, verses 1 and 9. Neglect of tithes and offerings, chapter 3, 7 to 12. Nehemiah, chapter 13, 10 to 13. And intermarriage with pagan wives, chapter 2, 10 to 16. And Nehemiah 13, verses 23 to 28. Nehemiah had come to Jerusalem in 444 BC to rebuild the city walls, but returned to Persia in 432 BC. On his return to Palestine, 425 BC, Nehemiah dealt with the sins described in Malachi. Thus it is likely that Malachi proclaimed his message while Nehemiah was absent between 432 and 425 BC.
So Malachi filled in for Nehemiah while Nehemiah was away, because he had to go back to work and then return later on. So Malachi filled in. Thank you. Malachi filled in for Nehemiah. All right. So Malachi is the last book of the Old Testament, which is the Persian captivity. So you must ask yourself, well, you read Daniel. He mentions, Daniel chapter 7, he mentions 4 beasts: Babylon, Persia, and he mentions Greece, and he mentions Rome. So when you go after Malachi, it just conveniently just jumps to Rome. Where's the 3rd beast? Isn't that kind of odd that the Bible just skips an entire captivity over into Rome? No, it's not, because the so-called white man, the Protestants, had those 14 books removed. They had the Maccabees removed, things, rest of Esther, things of that nature, which were very, very important regarding the history of who Paul was talking to when you get to the New Testament. So we're going to eventually jump into the Greek captivity after we finish this Persian captivity. So now, let's get Ezra chapter 7, verse 1. Ezra 7, verse 1, and we're going to read down.
The book of Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 1. Now after these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, the son of Sariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shalom, the son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Meroth, the son of Zechariah, the son of Uzai, the son of Bukai, the son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra went up from Babylon, and he was a ready scribe in the law of Moses, which the Lord God of Israel had given. And the king granted him all his requests according to the hand of the Lord his God upon him. And there went up some of the children of Israel, and the priests, and the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the Nethinims, unto Jerusalem in the 7th year of Artaxerxes the king.
So Ezra also got requested the king to leave and help rebuild as well. Go ahead.
And he came to Jerusalem.
Like Nehemiah. Go ahead.
And he came to Jerusalem in the 5th month, which was the 7th year of the king. For upon the 1st day of the 1st month began he to go up from Babylon. And on the 1st day of the 5th month came he to Jerusalem, according to the good hand of his God upon him. For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord, and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments. Now this is the copy of the letter that the king Artaxerxes gave unto Ezra the priest, the scribe, even a scribe of the words of the commandments of the Lord, and of his statutes to Israel. Artaxerxes, king of kings, unto Ezra the priest, a scribe of the law of the God of heaven, perfect peace, and at such a time. I make a decree that all they of the people of Israel and of his priests and Levites in my realm, which are minded of their own free will to go up to Jerusalem, go with thee. For as much as thou art sent of the king and of his 7 counselors to inquire concerning Judah and Jerusalem, according to the law of thy God, which is in thy hand, and to carry the silver and gold, which the king and his counselors have freely offered unto the God of Israel, whose habitation is in Jerusalem. And all the silver and gold that thou canst find in all the provinces of Babylon, with the free will offering of the people and of the priests, offering willingly for the house of their God which is in Jerusalem, that thou mayest buy speedily with this money bullocks, rams, lambs, with their meat offerings, and their drink offerings, and offer them upon the altar of the house of your God which is in Jerusalem. And whatsoever shall seem good to thee and to thy brethren, to do with the rest of the silver and the gold, do after the will of your God. The vessels also that are given thee from the service for the service of the house of thy God, those deliver thou before the God of Jerusalem. And whatsoever more shall be needful for the house of thy God, which thou shalt have occasion to bestow, bestow it out of the king's treasure house. And I, even I, Artaxerxes the king, do make a decree to all the treasurers which are beyond the river, that whatsoever Ezra the priest, the scribe of the law of the God of heaven, shall require of you, it be done speedily. Unto 100 talents of silver, and to 100 measures of wheat, and to 100 baths of wine, and to 100 baths of oil, and salt without prescribing how much. Whatsoever is commanded by the God of heaven, let it be diligently done for the house of the God of heaven. For why should there be wrath against the realm of the king and his sons?
Right. So the king gave Ezra the right. Pretty much, he gave provisions for us to help rebuild the walls and so forth. So the Most High moved the king's heart to be sympathetic towards our cause, for Nehemiah's sake as well as for Ezra's sake. Go ahead.
Also, we certify you that touching any of the priests and Levites, singers, porters, Nethinims, or ministers of this house of God, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them.
Don't tax them. Go ahead.
And thou, Ezra, after the wisdom of thy God that is in thy hand, set magistrates and judges, which may judge all the people that are beyond the river, all such as know the laws of thy God, and teach ye them that know them not.
Go ahead.
And whatsoever will not do, whosoever will not do the law of thy God and the law of the king,
Will not keep the commandments of God as well as obey the laws of the land. Go ahead.
let judgment be executed speedily upon him, whether it be unto death or to banishment or to confiscation.
Confiscation.
Confiscation of goods,
Confiscation of goods. They take his things. Go ahead.
or to imprisonment.
We'll get locked up. Go ahead.
Blessed be the Lord God of our fathers, which have put such a thing as this in the king's heart, to beautify the house of the Lord which is in Jerusalem, and have extended mercy unto me before the king and his counselors, and before all the king's mighty princes. And I was strengthened as the hand of the Lord my God was upon me. And I gathered together out of Israel chief men to go up with me.
To add a bit more to the temple and to the walls and so forth. There's a few things that they did as well to help beautify further the temple that Zerubbabel and Joshua had already completed. All right. Let's get the Persian captivity pamphlet. The Persian captivity pamphlet. I want pages 14. We're gonna be the 19. Yep. So pages 14. That's page 14? Yes, sir. Oh, wow, okay. From the beginning. All right, so we got 539 to 331. Read that.
The new masters of the ancient world belonged to the East Indians, children of Elam. See Genesis chapter 10, verse 22, and Esther chapter 1, verse 1. They were known as the Persians. This 5th century BC. Glazed brick frieze is from the harem of Xerxes, the royal household at Persepolis. Their beards are carefully arranged in little curls in Persian fashion. At the heart of the imperial Persian army was the elite bodyguard, known as the 10,000 Immortals, whose ranks included Medes or Elamites. However, the Israelite, Zerubbabel of the tribe of Judah, was one of the king's top 3 bodyguards.
Yep.
Read 1 Esdras chapter 3, verse 4, and chapter 4, verse 13.
Right, he was an immortal as well. Go ahead.
The 10,000 Immortals. The Immortals were the elite of the Persian army. They were handpicked for their bravery and so rewarded. Their name coming from the way their number never fell below 10,000. The division was always kept up to full strength. Retired or fallen soldiers were always replaced. In this way, their strength was always 10,000 men. Never more, never less. Entry to the ranks of the Immortals was restricted to those with Mede or Elamite ancestry. Exceptions were made, however, for those with exceptional fighting skills.
Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel had hands. I'm telling you, our forefathers had them hands. Nehemiah had the hands. Zerubbabel had the hands. Go ahead.
Coupled with loyalty to the king. Their appearance was said to be magnificent. They glittered with gold armlets and necklaces, vast quantities of which they wore about their persons. The elaborate robes seen on the stone reliefs at Persepolis and glazed tiles of Susa are considered to be their parade dress. On campaign, they wore the more practical median dress. This included a richly embroidered knee-length tunic, a tiara to cover the head, a soft woolen or felt cap, and a corset with metal plates or scales worn under his tunic. 2 of the 10,000 mortals glazed brick from the palace of Artaxerxes at Susa, the Achaemenian, courtesy of the Musa de Laver Paris photograph.
Right, yeah, that's the image of them how they dressed, the soldiers. Go ahead.
1 Ezra chapter 3, verse 1. Now in Darius' reign, he made a great feast unto all his subjects, and unto all his household, and unto all the princes of Media and Persia. Verse 2, and to all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him, from India unto Ethiopia.
That's how far his province stretched out from. Go ahead.
Of 127 provinces. And when they had eaten and drunken, and being satisfied, were gone home. Then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept, and soon after awaked. Then 3 young men that were of the guard.
Darius going into the letter that they wrote him. Go back, go down. Go down. The letter they wrote him. Go to page 16. Let me see. That's the cylinder, I think, right there of Cyrus. Go down. And his writing, what he said regarding the prophecy of the Lord moving him to help rebuild the temple. Go to the next page. Let's see here. That's they conquered the 3. That's the Daniel 7. It mentions the 3 ribs in his mouth, and it mentions the 4 Persian kings there. Let me see. You go to the next page. Right up there, let me see. According to I don't know. I want to go here for decree of Cyrus. Go to the next page. Zerubbabel, Ezra, Nehemiah. What page is this? 19. What do I want this for? There's a reason why I want to go through this pamphlet again, and I forgot why. But I'm sure it'll come back to me. I covered enough to where it doesn't make a difference. So let's go to Nehemiah 2. I don't know why I want to go there for, but go to Nehemiah 2:6. We'll start from verse 6, and we're going to end it at verse 20.
Israel, don't forget to like and share the class as well. Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 6, Deacon? Mm-hmm. Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 6. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him.
The queen also sitting by him may possibly have been Esther. I'm not going to say it was, but it may possibly. That's why I emphasized in parentheses the queen sitting by him. It may have been Esther at the time that helped further his that helped move the king to help us rebuild. So this may have been Esther. Go ahead. May have been Esther. Go ahead.
For how long shall thy journey be, and when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I sent him a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let the letters be given me to the governors beyond the river, that they may convey me over till I come into Judah. And a letter unto Asaph the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gate of the palace, which appertain to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall enter into.
The gates that pertain to the temple. So they had to add there to fix the gates that were on the temple as well. So they were involved in the temple's reconstruction as well. Go ahead. The gates that surrounded it and the walls. Go ahead.
And the king granted me according to the good hand of my God upon me. Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the king's letter. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel.
Right. Whenever a brother, an Israelite man, arises to seek the welfare of his people as a leader, heathens don't like that. J. Edgar Hoover is an example of that. You have Operation Black Death, Operation Iron Fist, COINTELPRO. These are all organizations that were set up deliberately to assure the destruction of any black leader or savior. Fred Hampton is a prime example of that. Malcolm X is a prime example of that. In terms of assassination, Medgar Evers is a prime example of that. Marcus Garvey being deported, and I think he might have been killed as well, but Marcus Garvey as well. removed. You had a lot of brothers, Pan-Africanist leaders, even from Africa themselves, that were killed as well. So this is whenever our people rise up, whether on this side of the world or on the other side of the world, for the welfare of their people, you always find that you always end up, Huey P. Newton, him as well, the drug epidemic increased. J. Edgar Hoover was definitely responsible, definitely involved in the destruction of our people. He said that one of the most dangerous things you can ever experience that's possible, one of the most dangerous things is black unity or a black messiah. This is why I brought that out in class, that one of the most dangerous times for our oppressor, the so-called white man today, was the turbulent 60s, the time in which black folks were seeking identity, were seeking empowerment, and our women were by our side at this time. They were by our side. They weren't twerking and popping their ass up and down like a bunch of retards.
That's
wearing these stupid-ass, long-ass eyelashes and fingernails and looking like freaking Pennywise from the clown, the clown.
What the hell is this?
Just eating children with red balloons. They wasn't walking around looking like that. They were actually modest. They had dresses on. They were brave. They were loyal, which is the most important attribute of a woman, to be loyal. That loyalty is dead now because, of course, during the 60s, they introduced the whole underground homosexual agenda. The My Body, My Choice thing came about, destroying the black families. The public assistance was introduced. The welfare, the projects, of course, that was introduced. That was all implemented as well. They did tests on how rats would react if you put them in confined environments and had them all put them all together, and how the rats began to be violent towards each other. They began to kill their young. The mother, they turned on each other. They divided into like gangs, and rats would attack each other. Captain Jerome went over this a few classes back about the experimentation of how they use rodents to pretty much determine how black people would become based upon these systematic conditions that they would put us in. And that pretty much took place during the 60s. All of that was implemented during the 60s because they knew, as I brought out in class last night, that a savior or saviors would begin, those dry bones would begin to gain nourishment. Okay? That they had slain during the slave trade, that those dry bones in that valley, which is the places of our captivity, would eventually, the wind would come and the breath would enter them. So whoever they thought was a potential leader that can bring that breath into them, they got rid of them. But the underestimated group that they did not focus on, that came about around the same time, were the Israelites. We were the last. We came later. We were small. That's why Malcolm X went with Islam, because Islam was the most popular. But the Israelites were around during that time. The Israelites were actually going to the Muslims were actually going to the Israelite schools and learning from them. They won't tell you that, but a lot of these Muslims, these prominent Muslims, whatever leaders, they would actually go to Israelite schools and learn Bible passages because they knew. I believe one of the elders of Israel actually knew Malcolm when he was Malcolm Little and taught him and explained to him why we're Israel. That's why he did that speech, that famous the law. You're the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You're the valley of dry bones. There's a video of Malcolm X actually saying we're the valley of dry bones. Okay, and a long time ago, I visited the Schomburg Museum in Harlem. It's called the Schomburg Museum, and they have like a memorial of Malcolm X's possessions, and he had a huge Bible, and he had his Quran. They had his Quran laying in the middle of his Bible, and he had a huge Quran, and his Bible was smaller, laying in the middle of the Quran, and they had a passage open, and the Bible was open in this Quran, and he had Psalms 83 circled, and it said Negroes. That's what with my own eyes. That I saw with my own eyes.
Damn.
So he had Psalms 83, and he had people cut off from being a nation. He had Negroes written under that verse. So he was familiar with who Israel was. He knew, but because the ideology of Islam was more popular at the time, more prominent, and was had more
popularity.
more popularity. So he went with the popularity. But the Israelites were around during that time. But we were the underdogs of those groups. So they didn't pay attention to us. But those other groups, the Panthers, infiltrated, SNCC infiltrated, Nation of Islam infiltrated. But Israelites, they were like, You understand them niggas? They think they Jews, but later on, now they're like, damn, we should have focused on them back then. But it's too late now. The truth is out there. It's spreading too much. It's a wrap. You can't stop it now. Okay? Excuse me.
That's
So now,
right.
give me Nehemiah 2. Where we at?
We just finished verse 10.
Read verse 10 again, please.
Yes, sir. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel.
So whenever a brother rises up or is raised up to seek the welfare of his people, he is deemed a threat by the nations. Not just the soil. It's not about white and black, but by the nations in general. Whenever a black man rises up to seek the welfare of his people, or Hispanic, whatever you want to call him, he is a problem. They'll try to buy him off, or they'll just demonize or kill him. One or the other. That's what they do. Read on.
So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. And I arose in the night, I and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my God had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. Then I went on the gate of the fountain, and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. Then went I up in the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whither I went, or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests.
What Nehemiah was doing was Nehemiah was surveying the land. Nehemiah was walking around and seeing what had to be done. And he kept it to himself. He was walking around, okay, I got to fix this, I got to rebuild that. He was analyzing, he was surveying. That's what he was doing. Go ahead.
Neither had I yet told it to the Jews,
You ain't tell anybody. Go ahead.
nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then said I unto them, Ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come, and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my God which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, Let us rise up and build.
Right, these are the builders I made reference to last night, about how the Lord would raise up builders who are leaders for the benefit and welfare of the people. All right? Nehemiah was one of them. Ezra was one of them. Go ahead.
So they strengthened their hands for this good work. But when Sanballat the Horonite, and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arabian.
So you got a Horonite, Tobiah the Ammonite, and you got an Arabian. Go ahead.
Heard it, they laughed us to scorn, and despised us, and said, What is this thing that ye do? Will ye rebel against the king? Then answered I them, and said unto them, The God of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore, we, his servants, will arise and build.
We, his servants, will arise and build. These are builders. Go ahead.
But ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem.
Meaning God has nothing to do with you. God is not dealing with you. So what we're doing is none of your business. That's what he's saying to them. He's being disrespectful, as he should be, because he's Judah. Judah's disrespectful. Nehemiah 3:1, next chapter.
Yes, sir. Nehemiah chapter 3, verse 1. Then Eliashib, the high priest, rose up with his brethren the priests, and they builded the sheep gate. They sanctified it, and set up the doors of it, even unto the tower of Meah. They sanctified it, and the tower of Haniel.
So keep in mind the name Eliashib, okay? Eliashib, the high priest. He plays a role. Get chapter 4, verse 1.
Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 1. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that we builded the wall.
This is the same Sanballat that mocked us and said, you guys are rebelling against the king in the prior chapter. Okay, chapter 2. Go ahead. Chapter before the last. Go ahead.
When Sanballat heard that we builded the wall, he was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews. And he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria and said, What do these feeble Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned? Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone wall. Hear, O our God, for we are despised, and turn their reproach upon their own head, and give them for a prey in the land of captivity.
Right.
And cover not their iniquity, and let not their sin be blotted out from before thee. For they have provoked thee to anger before the builders. So built we the wall, and the wall was joined together unto the half thereof, for the people had a mind to work. But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up, and that the breaches began to be stopped, then they were very wroth, and conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem.
So when they saw us being successful at rebuilding the walls and fixing the temple, they got upset and conspired to fight against us, because that was a threat. We were a threat. They see Israel being productive. They see Israel rebuilding the rest of their temple and the walls and so forth. They saw progress. They didn't like it. Go ahead.
And to hinder it, nevertheless, we made our prayer unto our God, and set a watch against them day and night because of them. And Judah said, the strength of the bearers of burdens is decayed, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall. And our adversary said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them, and slay them, and cause the work to cease.
So we're going to kill these guys. These guys are building. Let's destroy them. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that when the Jews which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times, from all places whence ye shall return unto us, they will be upon you. Therefore set I in the lower places behind the wall, and on the higher places, I even set the people after their families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. And I looked and rose up and said unto the nobles, and to the rulers, and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them. Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses.
Right, so fight for your nation, fight for your families. Don't be afraid of these nations. Hold on. Get chapter 5, verse 1.
Nehemiah chapter 5 and verse 1. And there was a great cry of the people and of their wives against their brethren the Jews. For there were they said, we are sons and our daughters.
For there were that said. Go ahead.
Sorry. For there were that said, we are sons and our daughters are many. Therefore we take up corn for them, that we may eat and live. Some also there were that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses, that we might buy corn because of the dearth.
Because of the famine. Go ahead.
There were also that said, we have borrowed money for the king's tribute, and that upon our lands and vineyards. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, our children as their children. And lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants. And some of our daughters are brought into bondage already.
I mean they'll put their children to work to pay off certain debts that they owed. Go ahead.
Neither is it in our power to redeem them.
We can't get them out of that servitude. Go ahead. We can't afford it. Go ahead.
For other men have our lands and vineyards. And I was very angry when I heard their cry and these words. Then I consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles and the rulers, and said unto them, ye exact usury, every one of his brother. And I set a great assembly against them.
So these are the governors that were ruling before Nehemiah showed up. The governors were exploiting the people, robbing the people, extorting the people. All right? Their own people. Okay? Their lands for their lands, their money, their children, their servitude. You had Israel basically oppressing Israel at this time.
The hell is this?
All right? Oppressing them. Read on. Nehemiah got word of it, and Nehemiah set a council against these elders, these leaders, or governors prior to him. Go ahead.
And I said unto them, we after our ability have redeemed our brethren the Jews, which were sold unto the heathen. And will ye even sell your brethren, or shall they be sold unto us? Then held they their peace, and found nothing to answer. Also I said,
They couldn't answer them. Nehemiah checked their ass. Go ahead.
it is not good that ye do. Ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies?
Right.
I likewise.
So that just proves that the heathen are our enemies. Go ahead.
I likewise, and my brethren, and my servants, my exact of them money and corn. I pray you, let us leave off this usury.
Stop extorting or exploiting the people.
Verse 11. Restore, I pray you, to them even this day their lands, their vineyards, their olive yards, and their houses, also the 100th part of the money and of the corn, the wine and the oil that ye exact of them. Then said they, we will restore them, and will require nothing of them. So we will do as thou sayest. Then I called the priests, and took an oath of them, that they should do according to this promise. Also I shook my lap, and said, so God shake out every man from his house, and from his labor, that performeth not this promise. Even thus be he shaken out, and emptied. And all the congregation said, Amen, and praised the Lord. And the people did according to this promise. Moreover, from the time that I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah,
Tirshava, the governor, go ahead.
from the 20th year even unto the 32nd year of Artaxerxes the king, that is 12 years, that is 12 years, I and my brethren have not eaten the bread of the governor.
Right, I didn't rob the people. The governors were robbing the people. He said, I didn't. I got them their stuff back. The governors were robbing the people, living off the people's wealth. The people were basically trying to pay off their debts to the governors by selling their lands, putting their children in servitude, putting their houses up, mortgaging their houses and all that. He must listen, give them all their stuff back, give them their children back, and don't ask for anything else. Don't ask them for anything else. They said, we agree. And the people were happy because Nehemiah was a righteous man. Go ahead.
But the former governors that had been before me,
The former governors he put on blast for this things we read about earlier. Go ahead. We read about earlier. Go ahead.
were chargeable unto the people,
Right.
and had taken of them bread and wine, beside 40 shekels of silver.
See?
Yea, even their servants bear rule over the people. But so did not I, because of the fear of God.
I didn't do that. I didn't do any of those things that the former governors are doing. Go ahead.
Yea, also I continued in the work of this wall, neither bought we any land, and all my servants were gathered thither unto the work. Moreover, there were at my table 150 of the Jews and rulers, beside those that came unto us from among the heathen that are about us.
Right, I came from the diaspora. Go ahead.
Now that which was prepared for me daily was 1 ox and 6 choice sheep. Also fowls were prepared for me, and once in 10 days store of all sorts of wine. Yet for all this required not I the bread of the governor, because the bondage was heavy upon this people.
Because you were still in captivity under the king. So I didn't take from the people. Okay, this is all provisions for me personally. This is my personal stash that I take for myself. I didn't take from the people because the people are already struggling as it is. I'm not going to add to that struggle like the governors are doing. Go ahead.
Think upon me, my God, for good, according to all that I have done for this people.
Right, because he was doing well by his people. He loved his people. He was doing well by them. Chapter 6 now. Read on.
Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 1. Now it came to pass, when Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem the Arabian and the rest of our enemies heard that I had builded the wall, and that there was no breach left therein, though at that time I had not set up the doors upon the gates, that Sanballat and Geshem sent unto me, saying, Come, let us meet together in some one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But they thought to do me mischief.
Come, let's meet. He was like, nah, these guys is plotting. Go ahead.
And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease? Whilst I leave it and come down to you?
Why should I stop what I'm doing to come talk to you for? Go ahead.
Yet they sent unto me 4 times after this sort.
And they asked me 4 more times for the same thing to have a meeting and talk. Go ahead.
And I answered them after the same manner.
Why should I talk to you 4 times after that? Go ahead.
Then sent Sanballat his servant unto me in like manner, the 5th time with an open letter in his hand.
Here we go.
Wherein was written, It is reported among the heathen, and Gashmu saith it, that thou and the Jew think to rebel, for which cause they buildeth the wall, that thou mayest be their king, according to these words.
So he wrote down saying it's rumored that you're setting up an army or a leadership to put yourself as a king now. Okay, so there's some form of sedition on your part. They're trying to get his attention, to get him to talk to them. Go ahead.
And that thou hast also appointed prophets to preach of thee at Jerusalem, saying, There is a king in Judah. And now shall it be reported to the king according to these words. Come now, therefore, and let us take counsel together.
So now they're threatening this. And listen, if you don't come talk to us, we're going to tell the king that you have prophets among you saying that you're the new king.
That's set up, bro.
Exactly. Trying to pretty much set Nehemiah up. Go ahead.
Then I sent unto him, saying, there are no such things done as thou sayest, but thou feignest them out of thine own heart.
You're a liar. I don't believe you. Go ahead.
For they all made us afraid, saying, their hands shall be weakened from the work, that it be not done. Now therefore, O God, strengthen my hands.
Uh-huh.
Afterward I came unto the house of Shemaiah, the son of Deliah, the son of Mehetabeel, who was shut up. And he said, let us meet together in the house of God.
Let's meet in the temple. Let's meet in the temple. Go ahead.
Within the temple, and let us shut the doors of the temple, for they will come to slay thee. Yea, in the night will they come to slay thee.
Listen, come here and hide, because I'm hearing rumors they're going to plot and kill you. So let's come to the temple. Let's hide here where it's safe. Watch this.
And I said, should such a man as I flee? Or who is there that, being as I am, will go into the temple to save his life? I will not go in.
Who am I as a leader, as a man, to go and hide and cower the temple? I'm not going in there. Go ahead.
And lo, I perceived that God had not sent him,
This guy's a demon. I don't trust this guy. Go ahead.
but that he had pronounced this prophecy against me. For Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him.
Sell out. Sell out Negro. Sell out Jew. See this nonsense going on? Go ahead.
Therefore was he hired, that I should be afraid, and do so, and sin, and that they might have matter for an evil report, that they might reproach me.
Yeah, I'm a coward. I'm hiding and just trying to save myself. Because I ain't falling for that. Go ahead.
My God, think thou upon Tobiah and Sanballat according to their works, and on the prophetess Noadiah, and the rest of the prophets that would have put me in fear.
A black woman also involved, aside from Shemaiah, trying to set Noah up. Go ahead.
So the wall was finished in the 25th day of the month Elul, in 52 days. And it came to pass that when all our enemies heard thereof, and all the heathen that were about us saw these things, they were much cast down in their own eyes.
They failed. Go ahead.
For they perceived that this work was wrought of our God.
Right. They realized God was working with us. Go ahead.
Moreover, in those days, the nobles of Judah sent many letters unto Tobiah, and the letters of Tobiah came unto them. For there were many of Judah sworn unto him, because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah, the son of Arah, and his son Johanan had taken the daughter of Meshullam, the son of Berechiah. Also, they reported his good deeds before me.
Wait. Read verse 17 again.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. Moreover, in those days, the nobles of Judah sent many letters unto Tobiah.
The nobles of Judah sent letters unto Tobiah the Ammonite. Go ahead.
And the letters of Tobiah came unto them.
And he wrote back to them, this Tobiah the Ammonite. Go ahead.
For there were many in Judah sworn unto him.
So this heathen, this Edomite, had niggas in his pocket.
Damn.
That's what he had. He had people in his pocket, nobles of Judah in his pocket. Why? Read on.
Because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah, the son of Arah.
So he married into the Jake family. Remember that intermingling was going on. Intermarriages was going on. Right. So our forefathers, our brothers, were giving these heathens unto our daughters. So he married into a noble family of Jews. So he had status. Go ahead.
And his son Johanan had taken the daughter of Meshullam, the son of Berechiah.
And then Tobiah, the Ammonite's son, had taken another sister as a wife of a noble family. Go ahead.
Also, they reported his good deeds before me.
And they reported his good deeds, Tobiah's good deeds before me. Go ahead.
And uttered my words to him. And Tobiah sent letters to put me in fear.
And Tobiah tried to threaten them. And then they said, they reported my words back to him. And then he responded to me and then tried to threaten me. Put me in fear. Show that there was a lot of beef going on. These heathens put themselves in positions they pretty much intermarry with our daughters to gain status. This history is going to tie in very well. You know what I'm talking about. It's going to tie in very well with the history that's coming after Rome.
Later
regarding
on.
the King James families and how these Edomites married our sisters and took over the throne. And now that's how you got these freaking Prince Williams and your Dianas and Queen Elizabeths is all white now. Because their fathers, them Germans, intermarried with our sisters who sold their own brothers out and married into these white families. And these white families became the new lineage of King James
Right.
when they were originally black. We're gonna get into all of that.
Hey, Deacon, you also brought out that they did the same thing once they came over this side with Northern Kingdom families.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
thing over
all
here.
over.
It
Got their
became
wealth and
$5
all that.
Indians. $5 Indians got land. Same thing, man. These guys do the same. These Edomites come, intermarry into families and gain status and take over the family as if they were always part of that family when they were not.
And
All right.
That's how they took those titles and names. They
Right,
just
and
carried
gained-
on.
Right, and just carried it on, and then took the names, all of that.
And that's how they take over lands also.
Yep, take over lands and take over people. Yeah,
These women, man, black.
you black women, man, y'all, a lot of y'all. Listen, I'm telling you, we're gonna go into that, man. A lot of you sisters, man, y'all the worst. Not all of you,
right.
not all of you, but a lot of you sisters. I'm talking about back then. Y'all was selling this. Y'all was selling out. You had Israelite men marrying heathen women. I'm not knocking that, but you had Israelite women messing around with the men, and the freaking men was getting status because of that. All right. So now where we at? Nehemiah chapter 7, verse 1.
Nehemiah chapter 7 and verse 1. Now it came to pass when the wall was built, and I had set up the doors, and the porters, and the singers, and the Levites were appointed, that I gave my brother Hananiah, and Hananiah the ruler of the palace, charge over Jerusalem, for he was a faithful man, and feared God above many. And I said unto them, let not the gates of Jerusalem be open until the sun be hot, and while they stand by, let them shut the doors and bar them, and appoint watches of the inhabitants of Jerusalem, every one in his watch, and every one to be over against his house. Now the city was large and great, but the people were few therein, and the houses were not builded.
The houses, remember the houses got burned down. Babylon burned down the houses. So he refortified the walls. He refortified the gates around the temple, the bars. He fixed that. The temple was built and finished, but it still required work and some revisions. So Nehemiah and Ezra were instrumental in fortifying and rebuilding the walls or the gates that were part of the temple. So they were also involved in some form of building the temple as well, in terms of fortifying it and putting bars around it. But there were houses also that were burned down and destroyed that remained desolate. And the city was great and large, but the houses were few, and the people were few. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And my God put it into my heart to gather together the nobles and the rulers and the people, that they might be reckoned by genealogy.
Record. Go ahead.
And I found a register of the genealogy of them which came up at the first, and found written therein.
So what Nehemiah found was a record of genealogies of those that came up, because Israel had a record of genealogies. Okay, today we call it a town hall or a city hall, where you go down to the city of records or vital records,
statistics.
vital statistics, whatever,
Yeah,
and you find your or some of y'all can go to Ancestry.com. You know, if it's possible, find a census, birth certificates, things of that nature. You can find your family. I mean, I think me and Jez did it, and it worked out. We'll be able to find. We can go back a few generations, like 5.
I went 6.
I went back 5. I'm Judah. Oh, praise the Lord.
right here. I'm Judah too. All
That's when you
praises.
find out his father was a guy.
Nah, I didn't find that.
Jez said that.
I didn't find that at all. I didn't find that at all.
He was like,
Hold it back.
I'm gonna hold it back.
Hold it back, Deke. We'll deal with that later, but that's not what I found, Deke.
You got a picture, Dick?
Nah, we ain't got no picture. Yo, come on.
I'm trying to get my
Let's
thoughts
carry
together,
on.
man. I'm trying to get my thoughts together, man. You mentioned Jez and Gad. It puts me in a different
Carry
spirit.
on. Come on, Deke.
trying to overcome it, man.
Oh, man.
Come on,
The
Deke.
devil's in the quiet right now, man. He's tempting me, man. He's tempting me. I'm trying to.
Where we at, Nehemiah? Where we at, Nehemiah?
I've gone a long time without saying anything to Jez about
The lineage.
the Gad thing.
Yo,
I'm trying to restrain myself, man.
Deke, I think we in Nehemiah chapter 8, Deke.
We're in Nehemiah 8, man.
Because they're doing a blitz, for gas. So
Yeah, all
we want
praise.
to give a shout out for them.
All
the
praises,
blitz.
man. All praises, man.
Let's read verse 6 again, please.
Verse 5 again.
Chapter 7, verse 6 again. Oh, verse 5. Verse 5. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Verse 5.
And my God put it into my heart to gather together the nobles and the rulers and the people, that they might be reckoned by genealogy.
So what we had back then was a whole, basically a record, a registry of lineage. Many of you today come with this doctrine about If your mother is white and your father is black, you're not a Jew. And I find it laughable because you niggas can't go beyond 10 generations. You can't go beyond 8. Some of you, I mean, I'm surprised I can go back 5. And Jez found he can go back 6. That's based upon not DNA nonsense, but it's based upon like records, census of names.
Put a last name in.
Name in. I just put in a last name, and I went back to Carolinas, Texas. I went back as far as I can go. I went back. What was he again? A bricklayer?
Bricklayer, yes, sir.
My grandfather, my great grandfather was a
North Kakalaki.
he was a bricklayer or something like that. Whatever. I found that. I said, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. I ain't going back further than now. That's as far as I can go. You know, because at that point, he was in a ship at that point. You know, so I couldn't go further than that. But the point is that you can't go that far back. See, we had records back then. Esau team conquered us, took that stuff and carried it out. Esau got there's a movie a long time ago called Indiana Jones. He was a freaking thief, basically. He was a good guy, thief that you rooted for. And I believe he had discovered the Ark of the Covenant. All right, and he opened it, and that's when they got people's heads started blowing up and all that stuff. And they ended up, they found it, which is speaking blasphemy, because you can't find that anyway, biblically. You can't find that at all. The Lord had Jeremiah hide it. Anyway, they found it in the movie, and they put it in a vault, like an underground vault. And you see like all these like artifacts, ancient artifacts covered in tarps and blankets and stuff in this huge vault of records. Why do I say that? Because Esau has a whole vault, like the Vatican has a vault underground. The Smithsonian has a vault underground. They have all these different vaults underground where Esau is allowed to go and look things up. And they have our records in this stuff. Now, like me and Jed, we do our research. We find things like slave log books here. This is a log book of slaves, names, things of that nature. That's written as far back as what, the 1600s, 1600s. We go back. We got books that go back damn near 400 plus years. Slave logs, names where they came from, all that. We have that. But these people have things that go back thousands of years, like BC.
Right.
Because they do excavations, they do archaeological digs, they search out iniquity, they find things, do things that they go places that niggas ain't allowed to go to.
And you know, a good movie that also proved that is National Treasure.
Right.
With Nicolas Cage.
Right, National Treasure, right. When the Solomon's Temple, I believe.
Right, when they find that the treasure, they show you got the bunch of Egyptians,
right,
mummy tombs, and all kind of stuff that they had. Supposed to be underneath Wall Street in New York somewhere.
Hey, Deacon, I think it was Britain or Germany, but they just returned, like, I don't know how many pieces of art back to Benin in Africa.
Wow.
Damn. That they stole.
Yeah.
That's the same thing too with the Black Panther.
I was going to say that.
Killmonger.
But Killmonger was like, yo, where'd you get this from? I said, I got from Benin. He was like, nah, this ain't from Benin. It's from Wakanda. This is vibranium. He said, I'm going to take it up your hand. She said, you can't take that. He goes, why? Y'all take things. Dang. That was a badass scene, boy. That was bad.
She stole it from our people.
Like everything else.
Yeah.
I love that scene. That was a bad scene. When he played that role, man, he had to get therapy.
Yeah.
Because he said he had to get therapy because he stayed. Right. It's like the brainwashing, you know, Hollywood.
Right. Yeah.
So he became Killmonger. He became himself.
Right. Okay.
He said, "Nah, I gotta get therapy, man. I gotta go back into the Matrix again. I'm waking up."
He got that what's it called in Get Out, the light flash.
Yeah. He said he had to get therapy. And what's the name to get therapy? The guy that played William O'Neill in Black Messiah. He had to get therapy also. Yeah. Because that messed with his head. Playing a traitor, you know. So you have to see. You can play it. Go ahead and play it. Why not? You got the disclaimer. Yeah, let's play that thing, man. That's bad.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
It's a badass scene, man.
Yeah, you saw the devil, man. It took our custom and say that's costumes.
Yeah, and the sister is behind the decoration of this garments in this movie. This movie was a freaking classic, man. Yeah. And every movie that comes after this movie, they modeled after it. The Shang-Chi movie came out, they stole from that's a Moabite version of Black Panther. Aquaman is the underwater white man version of Black Panther. This movie superseded anything that came out before it. This movie just knocked it. This is greatness.
Good morning. How can I help you?
I was just checking out these artifacts. They tell me you're the expert.
You could say that.
They're beautiful. Where's this one from?
The Bobo Ashanti tribe, present-day Ghana, 19th century.
For real? And what about this one?
That one's from the Edo people of Benin.
Pause that. Yeah, so Shanti, Benjamin, a lot of Nani and Cujo, Marcus Garvey and his wife all claim descent from Ashanti. Most Ashantis, believe it or not, were dropped off in Jamaica. That's Benjamin. The Edo people is a branch of Igbos. That's some dumbass nigga in Africa talking about they were Edomites, because Edo is Edomite. You stupid black people. Edo people, just don't talk to me. Black people are stupid as hell. Anyway, that dude, that's a branch family from the Igbo family as well. Yoruba, Edo, it's all the same people, another branch. 16th century means 1700s, I believe. Go ahead. AD is before.
Now, tell me about this one.
Also from Benin, 7th century. Fula tribe, I believe.
Fula tribe. Pause. That's also us. Fula is us too. We got a book that says that those are Negroes. Fula. The Fulani is Fula. That's us too. Definitely us. And so she goes, that's some Fula tribe, Benin, right? He's like, nah. Go ahead.
Nah.
I beg your pardon.
It was taken by British soldiers in Benin, but it's from Wakanda.
Pause. It was taken by British soldiers in Benin, but it's from Wakanda. Taken by British soldiers in Benin, but it's from Wakanda. Go ahead. And it's made of vibranium.
Even stolen. But,
Yep.
They didn't want to put that in there.
Right. He'll say it. Go ahead.
And it's made out of vibranium. Don't trip. I'm going to take it off your hands for you.
These items aren't for sale.
How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid a fair price? Or did they take it like they took everything else?
Dang.
So I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Watch.
You got all this security in here watching me ever since I walked in, but you ain't checking for what you put in your body.
All right, mate. Let's have it. Come on, mate. Time.
I think she might not be feeling too good.
Pause. That's the best scene. She passes out in pain. That's all I want. So she's watching. When he first got there, she had security following him around. But meanwhile, her ancestors then stole everything that's in that display. You worry about him stealing stuff. You stole everything that's in there. And she's the expert. But the point of that scene was to show that these Edomites, they have a huge library, a huge collection of things that they should not have. Namely, our records of genealogies and so forth. That's why I said before, I mentioned me and Jez, we can't go past 6 generations, if not 7. You can't go that far back because they have all the records. And they erased our identities from us entirely. After this, we got them slave ships. We underwent massive name changes, from Spanish names to white men that took over him, conquered him, and gave us British names. Took over him, gave us French names, yada, 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 and so on and so forth.
And Deep, to land back off of you know they have the records because they, remember on the slave ships coming, they kept the record of who was on the slave ships. Mm-hmm. They had all
and
the
their
records,
names.
And their names.
Their actual names.
Where they picked them
and
up.
what they did, and their tribes. And, you know, people, man.
Mm-hmm. So what verse is that?
We were still on verse
5. 7:5. Okay, jump to verse 61.
Nehemiah chapter 7 and verse 61. And these were they which went up also from Telmelah, Tel-Harasha, Cherub, Adon, and Immer, but they could not shew their father's house, nor their seed, whether they were of Israel.
So these guys that came up from these places could not, there was no record of them that can determine where their father came from or their father's children, their ancestry, whether they were of Israel or not. Go ahead.
The children of Deliah, the children of Tobiah, the children of Nekoda, 642, and of the priests, the children of Hebiah, the children of Kaz, the children of Barzillai, which took one of the daughters of Barzillai the Gileadite to wife, and was called after their name. These sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy.
Right, these guys sought their register to find out who they're from. Go ahead.
But it was not found.
Couldn't find. Go ahead.
Therefore were they, as polluted, put from the priesthood.
Because this particular group is of the priests, the children of Habiah, of Kaz, Barzillai, because they couldn't show that they descended from those particular priests, they had to be removed from the priesthood because they couldn't find them. They couldn't find them or their fathers in the registry of Levite priests. Go ahead.
And the Tarshitha said unto them,
that's Nehemiah the governor. Go ahead.
That they should not eat of the most holy things.
So these guys had to be removed from the priesthood. They can't eat from the temple. Go ahead.
Till there stood up a priest with Urim and Thummim.
Until the priest can come along, because due to the fact that they had no record of them or record of their fathers, they had to go to the Lord himself, so the Lord can tell them whether or not they were Israel or not. So until then, until the Lord talks to them and tells them directly where these guys descend from, who they are, it cannot be the priest or play that position in the temple until the Lord came to them directly through the Urim and Thummim. Now the Urim and Thummim were like what you would call crystal balls, and they were put in the breastplate or the garment of the priest, and they were like, I guess the Lord. We would talk to the Lord in them. He would speak to us through them. All right, so you get them movies, witchcraft, and then he goes, oh, magic ball, crystal ball, and starts talking. They bought it from that. So the Lord had like these I guess you can say, these instruments in which we would speak to the Lord. So he would let us know, okay, you don't have, remember, Babylon burned everything. So there was the chance that these guys were Israel, but they had to wait, stand by to see by going to the Lord directly to reveal to them whether they were Israel or not, or whether these guys were of the priest line or not. So they can add it to the registry once they get confirmation from God himself. You understand? How many of you can do that? How many of y'all can go and call the Lord and find out what your registry is? You stupid black people. You know what the hell you're talking about.
Black lips.
Where's your Urim and Thummim? Where's yours at? Oh, you can't be Israel. If your mom is white, you can't be Israel. Both parents got to be Jews. Yeah? Well, if that's the case, that means 12 tribes ain't 12 tribes of Israel then. Because if you examine the matter, Joseph's 2 children, their mama's Egyptian. And Jacob's 2 women, which were his wives' servants, they weren't Israel. They weren't Hebrews. They were heathens. So you got 3 different women who are not our people that mothered 12. The 3 of them that mothered the 12 tribes. Not to mention Moses, his wife, also. You can't count her either. You got married within your tribe, yeah? Well, if that's the case, Aaron was wrong because Aaron's wife was a Judite. She wasn't a Levi. You guys got to come with these doctrines of yours got to stop, man. They got to stop at some point. Got to stop. All right, so let's read on. What verse is that? 65, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's jump to Ezra 2 now. Ezra 2, 59 to 63.
The book of Ezra, chapter 2, verse 59. And these were they which went up from Telmelah, Harshtha, Cherub, Adon, and Immer, but they could not shew their families, their father's house, and their seed, whether they were of Israel.
Right, so notice how Nehemiah and Ezra are repeating the same thing. That's why Ezra is Ezra, first book of Ezra. Nehemiah is considered to be the second book of Ezra. And in the Apocrypha, the second book of Esdras, first Esdras in the Apocrypha is actually third Esdras. And second Esdras in the Apocrypha is actually fourth Esdras. Ezra and Nehemiah is the same, pretty much the same book. Okay, they're writing pretty much for each other. They're writing for themselves. And then first and second Ezra is third and fourth. All right. Now give me first Esdras 536, which would be third Esdras.
First Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 36. These came up from Temeleth and Terlarsa.
Same place, yep, same thing. It's a Greek form, but the same places. Go ahead.
Karathalar, leading them, and Asalar. Neither could they shew their families, nor their stock, how they were of Israel, the sons of Laden, the sons of Ban, the sons of Nekodan, 642.
Jump down to verse 39.
50 and 2. Verse 49, you said, Deacon?
Turn down to verse 39.
39. Verse 39. And when the description of the kindred of these men was sought in the register, and was not found, they were removed from executing the office of the priesthood.
Right, go ahead, 40.
For unto them said Nehemiah and Athaliah.
Athaliah is the Tishala. Go ahead.
That they should not be partakers of the holy things, till there arose up an high priest clothed with doctrine and truth.
Doctrine and truth is the Urim and Thummim. It's the same thing. That's what it means. Doctrine and truth. Urim and Thummim. All right? Now, give me Ezra 3 and 4. I brought this out last night in class.
The book of Ezra, chapter 3 and verse 4. They kept also the Feast of Tabernacles, as it is written, and offered the daily burnt offerings by number, according to the custom, as the duty of every day required.
Right, so they kept the Feast of Tabernacles. Go to Nehemiah 8 and 1. So while the foundation was being laid, they were keeping the feast days at the same time. Nehemiah 8. This is with Zerubbabel and Joshua at the time in Ezra 3. Ezra 3 is reflecting back before Nehemiah and Ezra.
Nehemiah chapter 8 and verse 1. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. And they spake unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded to Israel. And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation, both of men and women, and all that could hear with understanding upon the first day of the 7th month.
All right, so the first day of the 7th month. The first day of the 7th month. Go to, read on, verse 3.
And he read therein before the street that was before the water gate, from the morning until midday, before the men and the women, and those that could understand. And the ears of all the people were attentive unto the book of the law. And Ezra the scribe stood upon a pulpit of wood, which they had made for the purpose. And beside him stood Mattaniah, and Shema, and Ananiah, and Urijah, and Hilkiah, and Maasai on his right hand, and on his left hand Pedaiah, and Mishael, and Melchiah, and Hashem, and Hashbanah, Zechariah, and Meshullam. And Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people, for he was above all the people.
He's the leader. Go ahead, the chief priest. Go ahead.
And when he opened it, all the people stood up. And Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God. And all the people answered, Amen, Amen, with lifting up their hands. And they bowed their heads and worshiped the Lord with their faces to the ground.
Right, that's how you pray. This is how you pray. This is Buddhism. This is Buddhism here. It's not of God. There's nowhere in the Bible you'll find people doing this. Nowhere. I don't care what Tupac said. You understand? Pray for me. Look like this. I don't care about that stuff. Freaking nonsense. Read it again, please.
Yes, sir. Verse 6. And Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God. And all the people answered, Amen, Amen.
Right.
With lifting up their hands.
With their hands up.
And they bowed their heads.
And their heads went down. This is praying. You know who does it properly? Which is sad? Muslims. Muslims do it. Malcolm, when he got down in the movie, he started speaking Arabic, he does this. Because when you pray to the Lord, what are you doing? You're asking to do what? You're asking for what? To receive something. When you receive something, what are you doing? Your hands are open like this. Not this. This is a jutsu. Sasuke, the hell is this? That's not what this is. That's not what that is. Hands, do this. Head down, and then the Lord bestows whatever it is you ask for. Hands open, head down. Humility, like this. Right. You know, another example of that would be Planet of the Apes. Right, yeah. When they humbled down, did that, and then he does this with the hand. It's humility. Head down, hand out. The same with the Lord. Head down, hands up. It's none of this. I don't know what the hell this even means.
But black people got the plaque on the wall with Caesar Bowl.
Please, Lord, don't let the cops catch me. I'm selling drugs. Please, God. Please don't let me be pregnant, please. Please give me the abortion pills. Please. No, nigga, no. No. God didn't listen to that. Read verse 6 again.
And Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God. And all the people answered, Amen, Amen, with lifting up their hands. And they bowed their heads
Down,
and worshiped the Lord with their faces to the ground.
Hands up, head down. Go ahead.
Also Jeshua and Benai and Sherebiah, Jamin, Akab, Shabbathai, Hodijah, Messiah, Kelata, Azariah, Jozabad, Hanan, Peliah, and the Levites caused the people to understand the law, and the people stood in their place.
Okay.
So they read in the book in the law of God distinctly and gave the sense.
Because sense means understanding. Not only does sense mean understanding, sense goes into common sense. The laws of God give us the common sense. Give us common understanding. Common sense is not common anymore. Sense is gone now. Sense is TV, social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's what sense is now. Go ahead.
So they read in the book in the law of God distinctly and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading.
Sense comes from God's laws. Go ahead.
And Nehemiah, which is the Tershatha,
Right.
and Ezra the priest, the scribe, and the Levite that taught the people, said unto all the people, This day is holy unto the Lord your God. Mourn not, nor weep, for all the people wept when they heard the words of the law.
They were guilty. Go ahead.
Then he said unto them, Go your way, eat the fat, and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared.
Gifts. Go ahead.
For this day is holy unto our God. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of the Lord is your strength.
Go ahead.
So the Levites stilled all the people, saying, Hold your peace, for the day is holy. Neither be ye grieved. And all the people went their way to eat and to drink and to send portions and to make great mirth, because they had understood the words that were declared unto them.
Yeah.
And on the second day were gathered together the chief of the fathers of all the people, the priests.
Right, the second day of the of the 7th month. The second day of the 7th month. Go ahead.
The priests and the Levites unto Ezra the scribe.
The reason why it says the holy day is the first day of the 7th month. The first day of the 7th month is a feast day. Go ahead.
Even to understand the words of the law. And they found written in the law, which the Lord had commanded by Moses, that the children of Israel should dwell in booths in the feast of the 7th month.
They realized, according to the Bible, Israel had to dwell in booths for tabernacles. Go ahead.
And that they should publish and proclaim it in all their cities and in Jerusalem, saying, Go forth unto the mount, and fetch olive branches, and pine branches, and myrtle branches, and palm branches, and branches of thick trees, to make booths, as it is written.
Yeah.
So the people went forth and brought them, and made themselves booths, every one upon the roof of his house.
Some put booths upon the top of their houses, because our houses had to be flat, with barricades around it, so you couldn't fall off. Battlements around it, so you couldn't fall off. We had flat roofs. Esau makes roofs like this with triangle. That's not safe. That's stupid. Some people have houses like that. I have a house like that. If we can roofs like this.
Yeah, it's a pig.
Supposed to be like this. Supposed to be flat. Go ahead.
Right.
And yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
And in their courts, and in the courts of the house of God, and in the street of the water gate, and in the street of the gate of Ephraim. And all the congregation of them that were come again out of the captivity made booths, and sat under the booths. For since the days of Jeshua, the son of Nun, unto that day, had not the children of Israel done so.
So Israel, since the days of Joshua, did not dwell in booths. From the time of Joshua up until that day, they did not keep the Feast of Tabernacles the way they were supposed to keep it up until Nehemiah and them. Go ahead.
And there was very great gladness.
And they were happy because they were now finally keeping it the correct way. Go ahead.
Also, day by day, from the first day unto the last day, he read in the book of the law of God. And they kept the feast 7 days. And on the 8th day was a solemn assembly according unto the matter.
According to the matter. Yeah. So we'll take a break. Take a quick break. Give us some time to digest that. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. So stay tuned. Shalom.
Shalom Israel, Most High Christ bless. Deacon here of IUIC Philadelphia. Tuned into Our Hidden History Radio, where we go into deep understanding and history of who we are, according to the Bible, hidden artifacts, archaeology, the geography, all you can think of that shrouds around our history of the Bible. We go into it in depth. So Israel, like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel, Our Hidden History Radio. See you then. Shalom, Most High, Christ bless.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know history?
I'm not a bad individual. I just made some mistakes on my way down the road. Drop that old man like a give and go. The one in the mirror is my biggest fall. Ain't gonna act like it's difficult. I gotta get right cause the time ain't gon' slow. Gotta do as it is written though. Man, I thank the Lord if you didn't know. He saved my life. He saved my life. We don't make no focus on the whole world. Flip through the scripts and see diamonds and pearls. We can decide to leave that for the journal. Came in it, I finished slide on my jewels in other cities. I found a brand new way of life. Never alone, even though nobody with me. I got my God, he saved my life. Why you in my way? Kingdom on the line, I cannot play. No, not today. Okay. I'm not a bad individual. I just made some mistakes on my way down the road. Drop that old man like a give and go. The one in the mirror is my biggest fall. Ain't gonna act like it's difficult. I gotta get right cause the time ain't gon' slow. Gotta do as it is written though. Man, I thank the Lord if you didn't know. He saved my life. I had to get the right living, the sinner life. Could've went wrong. I done fell plenty times, but I'm in a fight. Still holding on. You need to decide if you really on this side. Move along. And this is the end signs. Yeah, this is the end. Don't leave me alone. My father gave me the recipe. Day to day, I see that Satan be vexing me. I had to become a better me. Walking different, had to switch up the energy. Wishing death upon the enemy. Son of perdition ain't who we pretend to be. Now I'm steady learning lessons, searching out the blessings that Moses has sent to me. For a while I was wild and old man inside me had my vision blinded. Searching to find it, had to change up. Could've went wrong. Now I'm trying to stay up. Still holding on. I'm not a bad individual. I just made some mistakes on my way down the road. Drop that old man like a give and go. The one in the mirror is my biggest fall. Ain't gonna act like it's difficult. I gotta get right cause the time ain't gon' slow. Gotta do as it is written though. Man, I thank the Lord if you didn't know. He saved my life. Walk on. I done made some mistakes, ain't no bar mine. And it points when it rains, so it washed off the stains. They still look at me strange for the outcome. Yeah. How come he chose me to walk up this mountain? And all of the blessings and mercies I've seen on this journey, I never forgot one. And all of a sudden it is what it was. And I'm seeing the suffering, I'm sick to my stomach. Betrayed him for nothing, divided the judgment. He raining out curses on dirty as dust. Now how can I function? I'm knowing the life that I live could lead to destruction. Kingdom is coming. Get it together, no time for dysfunction. I'm not a bad individual. I just made some mistakes on my way down the road. Drop that old man like a give and go. The one in the mirror is my biggest fall. Ain't gonna act like it's difficult. I gotta get right cause the time ain't gon' slow. Gotta do as it is written though. Man, I thank the Lord if you didn't know. He saved my life.
I can't wait to marry you, this is coming from my heart. I'm in love with your soul, I felt that from the start. I found my other half, and never will we part. This a vow I'm making to you and God. Do I promise to love you? Do I promise to cleave to you? Am I gonna be faithful? Am I gonna be grateful? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey. Can't believe this is happening. Everything that I hoped and dreamed, she's getting a little bit closer. There's sex about it, made me wanna scream. Hey, you're everything I want and more. You're everything I was praying for. Yes, I thank the Most High for blessing me. Now we one flesh, just you and me.
I can't wait to marry you. This is coming from my heart. I'm in love with your soul. I felt that from the start. I found my other half, and never will we part. It's a vow I'm making to you and God. Do I promise to love you? Do I promise to cleave to you? Am I gonna be faithful? Am I gonna be grateful?
Hey, wanna rewind this day and do it again. My comforter, you're my best friend. It's gonna be people that don't wanna see us win. Sometimes you even gotta watch your king. Oh, it's about that time. Everybody wanna take a picture with the bride. Everybody pushing the groom to the side. I ain't push you that hard, boy, start crying. Hold up, man, it's our day. Can I please have my wife back? We done started late, but it's okay. We ain't proving now, this ain't the first date. Party hard with the DJ. Well, that food ain't free, better clean that plate. It almost was a perfect date. Then her grandma just slipped and fell. I'm looking around the room, cause whoever laughing is going to hell. Oh, can't you tell? I'm so lucky to have you here. I'm so lucky you in my life. I'm so happy that you're my wife. Hold up, oh, can't you tell? I'm so lucky to have you here. I'm so lucky you in my life. I'm so happy that you're my wife. Hey.
On this day, God made me the luckiest one in the world. Love you for life, and you know I'll be honored as your wife. Yeah, feeling your desire. Give him all my loving. Put no man above him.
I can't wait to marry you. This is coming from my heart. I'm in love with your soul. I felt that from the start. I found my other half, and never will we part. This is a vow I'm making to you and God. Do I promise to love you? Yeah. Do I promise to cleave to you? Yeah. Am I gonna be faithful? Yeah. Am I gonna be grateful? Yeah.
Place I'd rather be, y'all.
We're back from the break. All right. So, okay. One clap. Thank you. All right. So, oh, God. Who's the Abaddon? Who's clap like that? Look, what? Oh, gosh.
No, I'm trying to get his attention.
Jeez. Oh, my God. It's okay. It's all right. We're back from the break. Quick break. I'm trying to think if I should just...
I'm trying to get the bum
Anyone have any comments regarding the class? Any questions regarding the class? You can text or call us at 267-702-6121. That's 267-702-6121. For any comments you may have regarding the class or questions you may have regarding the class for today or even yesterday. Well, not yesterday, today, because I'm going to probably be deep. So I'll just say today because I'm tired. My mind can't even deal with that stuff. So in the meantime, we're waiting on that. Let's go into 2 Maccabees 1. 2 Maccabees 1. Like, why are you going on Maccabees for? What's that to do with Persia? Oh, you'll see. You will see. There's some things that's mentioned in Maccabees about what happened with Nehemiah that we don't know. Second Maccabees.
Verse 20.
Second Maccabees 1 verse 18.
You bum guys, man.
Second Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 18. Therefore, whereas we are now proposed to keep the purification of the temple upon the 5 and 20th day of the month Caslu, we thought it necessary to certify you thereof, that ye also might keep it, as the feast of the Tabernacles.
So the feast of dedication, which you know of as Hanukkah, is to be kept as the feast of Tabernacles. Why? Because they dedicated the temple during the time the temple was laid. The foundation was laid. They were purifying and sanctifying the temple at the same time of Tabernacles. The temple has been dedicated multiple times. Solomon dedicated it. Hanukkah is not a one-day thing, not a one-time thing. It was done repeatedly. So when they rebuilt it and sanctified it, they were keeping Tabernacles at the same time. So it was decreed based upon our victory against the Greeks and gaining back our access to the temple and cleansing it from what the Greeks did, that they keep the Feast of Dedication as Tabernacles. Okay? Read 18 again.
Yes, sir. Therefore,
I'm going to say it again. The temple was dedicated multiple times. And when we built the temple again, and before the foundation was completely laid, we were keeping tabernacles while building and sanctifying the temple. The second one. Go ahead.
Therefore, whereas we are now purposed to keep the purification of the temple upon the 5 and 20th day of the month Caslu.
25th day. That's when then you have Esau decide to take it upon himself that, okay, you have your holiday of God, 25th day of the 10th month of the year. I'll do the same, and I'll call it Christmas.
That's a setup, bro.
Exactly. The 10th month of the year. The 10th month of the year is December. Somebody like, what do you mean 10th month? That's the 12th month. No, it's not. It's 10th. That's why it's December. That's in decade. Decalogue, decimal, dec is 10. Okay? Oc is like an octagon. Octopus has 8 arms. Dr. Otto Octavius. Doctorado, that's 8. That's the 8th month. Sept as in 7. Okay? 7. Septimius, that's 7. Octave, that's Octavius, 8th born.
And in French, that's how you say it.
All right, you got a call? All right, cool.
Sept.
Right, sept is 7, like septuplets.
In French, that's a number 7.
Right.
And Esau still noticed you can actually go to the online or the dictionary and look it up on Google.
Right, and before
it still say it.
And prior to Augustus, which is Augustus Caesar, August, it was Sextilis, 6. Yes, we got a phone call. Hello.
Yes. I want to know.
Wait. What's your name? Where you calling from? How you doing, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm a truck driver, and I'm out of Miami. I'm out of Miami. I go to the Miami camp every night.
Okay. All praises, bro. How you doing? What's going on, bro?
All right. Okay. I got the question is, if you got a unbelieving wife, but you believe, but she don't believe, and you try to keep trying to talk to her, what do you do from that?
Well, that decision I leave to you regarding your unbelieving wife, because you have to make. How long you been in the truth?
I've been in the truth now for about like 2 years.
2-3 years?
Yeah.
And you've been congregating and all that stuff?
I've been congregating, but I'm truck driving. I'm in and out.
You're off and on.
I'm on the road truck driver.
So you gotta make certain that you gotta make certain that you're carrying yourself the way you're supposed to with your wife. So that way she sees the change in you. When she does see you, she sees that change. If she sees the same old you before the truth, then she's not gonna take it seriously.
Right.
And that'll be the reason behind why she will continue to be rebellious. But if she sees the change in you, and she sees you, how you dress, how you speak, things that nature's changed, and she's still on some rebellious stuff, then the decision is yours as to what to do.
Right.
that falls on you. But I'm not gonna tell you to get rid of your wife because sometimes it takes time. Sometimes they don't really believe that you believe, so they kind of rebel and go, this is a phase. You're just going through the motions. But when they really see that you're sincere and diligent in what you believe and what you know,
well, let me tell you a little something. I was actually I was a minister, but I'm converted to.
Right.
Well, I converted. I found the truth.
Right.
In other words, I found the truth. I wear my fringes every day.
Okay.
Even now, I got our flyers. I pass them out here on the road. I'm passing them out.
Okay. All praises.
So, and she the truth. It's taking her. I think I'm just too fast to trying to change it. I don't know.
I mean, like I said, I mean, you've been with us been with the truth for 3 years, and the Lord was patient with you before you came in, so you'll be patient with her. But at the same time, if she's like being outright rebellious and she's like, I don't believe none of that you're saying is a lie, whatever.
No, she don't say that. She don't say it like that. She believes some of the things,
right?
Majority of the things, but when it comes down to like. Last week she went to a birthday party, and I told her that we don't do that. And I showed it to her that I showed her the scriptures. I showed her our flyers that we have on birthdays. I went to some how did birthdays come about, and about the king and all so in Maccabees, and so it's like she don't. She still went. I don't. And it's like my son. He's my grandson, but he's my son adopted. And she takes him to things while I'm gone. Like right now, he might go to a Christmas party or whatever. And I tell her not to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're not there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a big issue. Also, you're not present. So they're left to their own devices when you're not present as well. That's kind of a bit of a. I'm not saying quit your job, but you got to consider also, finding a way to maybe be home more often because you're not really there to supervise or to maintain the order in the house that should be there in the first place. So that's a factor as well. And sisters are very emotional and they're very they're easily influenced. So. You can say one thing, but if you're not there to enforce it, they're gonna do what they can and when they want, because you're not there.
Okay.
So you gotta kind of, you have to kind of, I'm breaking up. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You kind of have to, you're gonna have to really like consider making some changes or arrangements to maybe your line of work in terms of being home more often or something like that because you're away. As long as you're away, man, idleness is Satan's playground. So if she's home or and you're not there, you're at a disadvantage, bro. That's kind of falls on you at this point to kind of enforce what you want to be done in the house. As long as you're not there, she do what she wants to do. But once you're there, once you get home and she's still doing what she wants to do, you gotta make a decision.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, we talking about that already about getting a job that I can at least be home on the
on weekends.
More
at least be home on weekends. At least be home for the Sabbath. At least something, or at least maybe I don't know. Figure something out, brother. You gotta be home. Yeah, go ahead.
Also, bro, remember you have to be the example to her, because you don't want to have to lead her. So when she see your example, you taking her, you leading her, then she'll follow. But like Deacon say, if you're not around to be that example to her, and she's talking to her worldly friends, her conversation is not going to be about the scriptures. So she has to be around people like-minded, you understand? So that would help her out. But like Deacon says, you have to be there to show that example. So you might have to change your schedule with your job, where you could be home, like Deacon says, every weekend or every other weekend.
Right, give me Sirach 36 and 25. real quick.
Oh, okay.
Watch this. Let me just show you something real fast.
Sirach, chapter 36 and
24.
verse 24.
Yeah.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Right. So she's a possession. Go ahead, your wife. Go ahead.
A help like unto himself.
Right.
And a pillar of rest.
And a pillar of rest. Go ahead.
Where no hedge is.
Where there's no hedge. You're the hedge. The Lord, of course, the Lord is the hedge. But the Lord through you and the household is the hedge, the leader. Right? So where there is no hedge, you're not around. You're hardly there. Go ahead.
There, the possession is spoiled.
The possession is corrupted. It's easily accessible because you're not there. You understand?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning.
You can end up losing your wife at the same time. So that's why it's very important that the hedge has to be, there have to be a hedge in the house. One second. Give me Sirach 28 and 24.
Sirach chapter 28 and verse 24. Look that thou hedge thy possession about with thorns.
And you gotta keep your possession. You gotta make sure you have your possessions taken care of, protected, surrounded, which would be yourself. Order. Go ahead.
And bind up thy silver and gold.
Your possessions. Go ahead.
And weigh thy words in a balance, and make a door and bar for thy mouth.
So the point I wanted was, this is, look that thou hedge thy possession about with thorns. I mean, you have to have order, structure around the wife, because she's a possession as well. You understand?
Right.
So if you're not there, there's no head, there's no bind, there's no thorns, there's no hedge. Okay. She's just free at this point. She's idle.
Right.
So once you're there, you can bring her to the school. Y'all can come to the school together. Y'all can learn, and she can be around people like-minded like herself, and she can learn from sisters. Why she can't do what she's doing. And if she ain't with it, and she's still rebellious, then you gotta make a decision. I can't make it for you. I won't tell you that, but you gotta make the decision. I think you get what I'm saying.
When I was going to school, every day, every Saturday I was going. It was like, it was one time she said that she don't want to go.
Why?
She don't want to wear fringes.
Why?
She think she think I'm forcing things on her.
But you're not hardly. You're hardly home.
Huh?
You're hardly home. Are you forcing things?
I'm saying before I got this job, before I started.
Oh, you're forcing things on her. Forcing things.
Job.
Okay, got you.
I had my own company, and it's like I was going to the Miami camp, on the week, on the 7th, constantly, and it was like it gets to the point she don't want to go,
So you're forcing. She's saying you're forcing things on her.
Yeah, she said I'm forcing it on.
Like what? Like forcing what on her exactly?
Like I'm telling her about the birthdays. I'm telling her about Christmas. I'm telling her about this, and it's like she's saying, she's saying I'm forcing that on her when I'm showing it to her.
She's saying what?
Telling her. She said I'm forcing it on her, like forcing her not to do Christmas, not to do birthdays. Not.
Have you ever asked her why she wants to celebrate those things?
I didn't ask her that.
You should ask her. What makes you feel like you like this? Who's forcing you to celebrate Christmas? Who's forcing you to celebrate birthdays? Where did that come from? Why do you feel so compelled to celebrate those things?
No,
you should ask. I'm saying you should ask these questions.
Because I showed it to her.
Right.
I
know you showed her, but I'm asking, have you ever asked her who's forced you? Have you ever asked her the question, who's forcing you to celebrate these holidays that you choose to celebrate when I'm not around? Because you're doing that you're doing that voluntarily. Who's forced you to do that? Because that's not biblical. Because just ask her. Just ask her. Listen, show me where in the Bible the Messiah was born in the wintertime, or where he said to observe his birthday, or what does the tree have to do with his birth, or a tree? What does that have to do with his birth? Or a fat white man on a chimney with reindeer. What does that have to do with his birth? And why should I observe it? Let's just say I'm wrong. Let's say I'm forcing you, right? You gotta say these things. Let's say I'm wrong and I'm forcing you, right? Why should I follow? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misguided. Maybe I should celebrate birthdays and I should celebrate Christmas. Why? Give me a biblical reason as to why I should celebrate these days, or give me a logical reason. Because even logical there's no reason behind celebrating those days. There's no reason behind it. None. So you gotta be slick to go, listen, you know what? Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say I'm forcing you. Maybe I'm misguided. Maybe I'm bugging out. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm taking this too seriously. Okay, let's go things your way. Let's do things your way. Why should I celebrate Christmas? That's coming up, right? Why should I celebrate it? Give me a reason behind why I should celebrate it. And her logic will be, well, it's a time for family. So we can't have a day together before Christmas as a family? What makes that day so important? We gotta do it that day. You gotta force her to understand that what she's doing is BS. It's a slave mentality that she has, because she's doing these things voluntarily on her own to celebrate it. And if you ask the question, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. So let's go your way. Why should I celebrate a birthday? Because let me give you an example of a birthday. Now, a birthday, right? I'm going to give you an example. I use my son as an example. My son was born June 13th, 2010, on a Sunday at 3:30. My firstborn son, right? Yeah. June 13th, 2010, on a Sunday at 3:30 p.m., right? That's when he was born. The following year, right? Is this still Monday? Is this still a Sunday? His birthday? No, it falls on a Monday now, right?
Right.
Right, so it's not his birthday anymore. You can't be, unless my son shrinks back into a baby and climbs back in the vagina, he ain't born a second year. You're born one time. So what are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? You know how many people walking on this earth right now who are born that ain't worth shit? Excuse my language.
Yeah.
They ain't worth a damn. They walking around, they were a waste of nut. They should end up on someone's back somewhere on the tissue. They shouldn't even be on the earth. Your work, your birth should be celebrated based upon what you've done productively in this world. What you leave behind is celebrated. That's why our forefathers honored death over life, because your life don't mean a damn thing. What you do in your life and what you leave behind in your life, that matters in the eyes of God. Your birth don't mean nothing. We're born cursed. We're born in captivity. We're born to bills. We're born to suffer. We're living in this world ruled by our oppressor. What am I celebrating exactly? What is it to celebrate? You gotta ask these questions. We're being gunned down the street. We're in the ghettos. We're in the slums. We lost our identity. What are we celebrating exactly? What exactly? Now, I can celebrate being a child of God and keep my God's holidays. I can do that because that's the only thing you can be proud of in this world, is being a chosen child of God. That should celebrate. But my birth, for what? And if a person has a child and that child becomes a devil, we gonna celebrate their birthday? I don't understand. I'm not celebrating none of that. I'm gonna celebrate what they've done in their lifetime. You honor that. What you leave behind is celebrated, not what you when you're born. No one knows what's gonna happen to you when you're born, who you become when you're born. You could be born and turn to the devil. So birthdays literally make no sense to celebrate. Right. Death, you do. That's why the Bible, Jeremiah said, "Cursed be the day I was born," because Jeremiah understood birth don't mean nothing. Your death is actually more valid than your life, because what you leave behind, what you do when you're alive, that matters. What you leave behind when you're dead, that matters. Your birth don't mean shit. Excuse my language. You understand? So we didn't celebrate that nonsense. When you do that, you're deifying yourself. You're worshiping yourself. That's what that is. It's self-worship. It's idolatry doing that.
Right.
Just off logic alone. So you ask her, listen, maybe I'm being misguided. Maybe I'm forcing me too. So let's go your way. Explain to me why I should celebrate Christmas or celebrate a birthday. Explain it to me. Give me a reason as an individual who belongs to this particular race of people who have been the bottom since you got over here. What am I celebrating a birth for exactly? And when I celebrate Christmas, whose birthday is that I'm celebrating? And where's that in the Bible? And let her explain herself. Don't say nothing. Okay. And then if she starts running her mouth and rebelling, you got decisions to make, brother. I'll leave you with that.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right, brother. I'm going to continue the show. Thank you. Shalom, most son. God bless.
Stay strong.
Nice talking to you. Stay strong. All right? All right, we got. Shalom.
It says, Shalom, Deacon Ithon, and leadership. Most High Christ bless you all. What just happened? Most High in Christ bless you all on this wonderful class as always. Thank you for Nehemiah 8 and 6 on how to pray. However, I have a question about where it states in the Bible that we are to turn to the east to pray. Thank you, and all praise to the Most High.
1 Kings 8.
Yes, sir.
1 Kings 8.
1 Kings.
You know that one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Chapter 8 and verse 48.
Well, not the east more so. We face Jerusalem because the east, it don't say east, it says face Jerusalem. Based upon where we're at now in this hemisphere, we got to face the east because that's where our land is. But if you're in Africa somewhere, you got to face a different direction. You got to face Jerusalem, wherever that is. You got to face wherever Jerusalem is, which could be like if you're in
South Africa.
If you're in West Africa, you still got to face the east. Because Jerusalem is northeast.
Basically where the sun rises.
Where the sun rises, you got to face where the Jerusalem is, right?
If you're in China, Jerusalem's going to be to your west?
Yeah, pretty much, which would be, So 1 Kings 8?
Yes, sir. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 48. And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul, and the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land.
Toward their land. See that? Toward their land. Go ahead.
Which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name.
Right. So we prayed to the Lord towards the land. What is that in Daniel? He did the same thing?
Daniel 6 and 10.
Let's get that.
The book of Daniel, chapter 6 and verse 10.
Y'all ready for that one? Y'all both at the same time.
I had it open already, Deacon.
Daniel 6 and 10. I was like, oh, okay.
While you were stuck in
Yeah, I'm already setting up.
While you were stuck in it, was reading this.
They already had it. Oh, we went out. Okay,
we
we're back in. Daniel 6 and 10.
Daniel chapter 6 and verse 10.
Man, stay the spirit over there, bro. Hey.
Go ahead.
Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem.
Toward Jerusalem. Because remember, he's in Babylon from there. Go ahead.
He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime.
Right. So he kneeled upon his knees toward Jerusalem. All right. Which in our situation would be the east. All right. So we say Jerusalem. That's why we say east. But it's Jerusalem. Face Jerusalem. That's why we say now, face Jerusalem. That's what we say now.
So wherever you at.
Wherever you at, you got to face Jerusalem. Wherever that is, you face Jerusalem. All right? Hope that answers your question.
It's another question at the time.
Yeah, sure. What's the next one?
Zoom in a little bit. Says, hi, I was wondering if Amhara tribes in Ethiopia are all Cushites, as I am part of that group, and Ethiopian history is confusing.
Ethiopian history is very confusing. Amharic, yeah. It's definitely Amharic. Give me vocal. I went over that.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, we went over.
We went over that 2 weeks ago. That's definitely us. Amharic. Give me that. Look up that real fast. Amharic. Isn't that a language? I think that's a language. Let me look at it.
I think it was over the Falasha and something.
Yeah, that's them. That's us over there. Let me see.
We was definitely mixed in over there.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, Semitic language. Yeah, that's us. They're from Geese. That's us. Amharic, yeah. It's a language. It's the Semitic language descended from Geese. That is the official language of Ethiopia. Yeah, our people are definitely residing. Give me Zephaniah 3 and 10.
Yes, sir.
Regarding Amharic. Afro-Asiatic family, Semitic, West Semitic, South Semitic. Yes. Not all of them are us, but we are definitely there. Amharic definitely relates to us over there.
Right.
Go ahead.
Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliant, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring my offering.
Right, that's us in Ethiopia. Give me Isaiah 11.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush.
Cush is Ethiopia again. It says here Amharic. It says Amharic language possibly originated as a result of pigeonization, which is communication between two groups. basically a mixture of both. Processed with the Cushitic substratum and the Semitic superstratum. So it's a mixture of Cushitic and Semitic languages together. Evolved from the Proto-Ethiosemitic. Examples of this is Geese, Guraj, and Tigrinya. Tigrinya is definitely Jake's. Tigrinya is definitely Jake. That's that sister that from Godfather of Harlem. She's from them. Tigrayans, they're being massacred over there, matter of fact. Tigrayans, Tigray region. Eritrea, Tigray, that's definitely us. Afro-Asiatic family. So we're definitely over there. So don't be confused about that. You know, if you believe in this truth and you up over there, it is what it is. Right. My sheep in my voice. Right. So don't get too wrapped up in that stuff. But our people are definitely mingled around over there. And we've been over there since the time of Esther. Remember, the provinces of Persia was from Ethiopia to India. 127 provinces. So Israel has been there since Babylon. We've been in Ethiopia for years.
We got
years.
Acts 8 and 30.
Acts 8 and 30. The Ethiopian eunuch came to keep Pentecost. Right. He came from there. Philip taught him. So he worked under Candace or Candace. He worked under her. So we're definitely over there. What did they say?
It says Amhara is a tribe like Tigray.
Right, Tigrayans, right. The Tigrayans is definitely Jake's over there. Undeniably so. Amharic is of Tigrayan, right. Tigrayan, it says that here too. That's what I found. Tigray region. Mm-hmm.
The Spirit beareth witness.
Yep.
So
just keep the commandments.
Read the commandments of God. You'll be all right. We're definitely over there. It is also spoken about the global diaspora of these regions. See that? It is also spoken about the global diaspora of these regions. We all over the damn place. That's definitely us over there. I say indefinitely. I'm not going to say all of them, but we up in there. That I will say. Any more?
No, sir, not at the moment.
All right. What time is it? 3:20. I might stop. We got a lot to read in that Maccabees. What was that, Maccabees? Let me look at it. Second Maccabees 1. We got a lot to read in that. I don't want to just stop in the middle of it. Let me see.
Some good stuff right there, too.
There's some good stuff in there. Yeah. I might have to stop.
Sorry, D, we save it for later.
You will save it for next week, because then that'll be the end of Persia leading into Greek. So I might, and yeah, that's why I made Persia long, because I hate Greek captivity. I hate it. I'm dragging it along because that thing is annoying. The names, the same name over and over and over and over again.
And the things that they did to piss you off. Like.
Right. But primarily, I know that. That's what Esau does. But just the names, the Ptolemy the first, Ptolemy the second, Ptolemy the third, Ptolemy the fourth, Ptolemy Philopator, Ptolemy Euergetes, it's annoying. But for y'all, I'll do it for y'all. We're going to stop there. Any more questions or comments you may have, y'all can post it up now. We have about 10 more minutes. If not, we'll conclude it, and we'll just make the announcements, 3:21. So if you have any questions or comments, I'll leave the floor open for you now. The number, again, is 267-702-6121. So that's 267-702-6121. Got any comments, questions, calls? You're more than welcome regarding the class. The last caller, he didn't ask you a question according to the class, but it kind of tied into what I went over yesterday. So he probably caught that part. And I said, and I don't want to go into yesterday's topic because I did address an unbelieving spouse yesterday, Deacon Malachi. That sets him off. Whenever we go over that. So
that thing was heavy on his mind, man. I didn't hear nothing about this class.
That's okay. So, anything else? Anybody else?
Oh, we just got another question.
Okay, what's the question you got?
What?
It's a call or the question? Is it a call regarding the topic?
It's two questions and a call.
All right, so I answer the call first, and then I answer the questions. You got them on? You're vetting it.
Wow. Come on, man.
Huh?
It's just exhortation.
Okay, yeah, come on. So, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, sis. Most on Christ bless. Where you calling from? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Sister Kiana from the Chicago camp.
Okay, all praises. How you doing, sis?
All praises. I'm doing wonderful. I just wanted to get on here and exhort you all. thank you all for everything that you guys are doing. You guys are doing a great work waking up your people. Keep up the good work. I just want to thank you all for everything that you guys are doing. That's it.
Well, all praises, sis. Well, I thank you. I appreciate the appreciation. Thank you very much, sis.
All praises, sis.
All praises.
Thank you, bro.
All praises. Thank you very much. All right, what we got? What we got here?
It says, this is from the same person that asked about the prayer.
All right, these are the last two. Let's go.
It just said, all praise to the Most High. Yes, that answers our question about how to pray and the direction to pray.
Okay, it's an hour, so it's probably more than one person watching. Okay.
Right. What happened?
Oh, God. You guys are doing weird things over there.
What's going on, brothers' hands, man?
Brothers over there. It's lonely hands. Brothers ain't married.
I said,
let the lotion calm yourself down. Get the lotion and Hennessy and calm yourself. Where you at?
all praise to the Most High.
What's all these guys, man?
Keyboards keep moving.
Where we at? Keyboard keeps moving it. It's called Ghostbusters. Damn.
All praise to the Most High. And yes, that answers our question about how to pray and the direction to pray. We appreciate each of you and what do to in turn us of our... Sorry.
Oh, God.
Damn.
Just please.
I was getting it.
I got it, Dick. I got it from here.
Brother, come on, man. Do something.
Y'all messed me up, man.
Oh, that's your brother.
I missed it, man.
I got it. I got it from here, D.
Almost made it through the whole
He
show.
almost made it, man.
All praises. All right, here we go.
Your own brother messed you up, man. Damn.
All praises.
Take a look. It's in the book, man. Reading Rainbow, man. Go ahead. Read the comment.
It says, all praise the Most High, and yes, that answers our question about how to pray and the direction to pray. We appreciate each of you and what do to inform us of our history. Most High Christ bless you all. We love you. We love y'all family.
All praises. All praises.
All right, that's all you had to say. That's all you had to read,
I
bro.
was getting there. I was taking a long way.
Long ride. Read the damn syllabus.
Well, oh, dang. We got two more. Indeed.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Says, Shalom, Israel.
No. It says May 30.
Oh, the other one.
Oh, God.
Wait, that don't count. That don't count. They gave me two questions. It's the second question.
Okay.
All
All
Yo, y'all messing me up over there, man.
Damn. All right, y'all. So, shout outs to the IT team. I was about to say 18. What the hell is this? Shout outs to the IT team and shout outs to the breakfast team. All praise to the Lord for y'all.
That was a question.
Another question? All right, another question.
Oh, it's an actual question.
Yeah,
Why am I saying it again? So, shout outs to y'all.
It says, Shalom. Oh, you about to get off?
Nah, you got it, man.
All right, I'm back.
We're going to try you out again.
We're back.
man.
We're back.
Redeem
All
yourself.
praises.
He's back.
All praises. Shalom, Most High Christ bless. What tribe is Luke from?
Luke doesn't say. Doesn't say what tribe Luke was from.
Then you got another one.
Damn, they coming in, huh?
Yeah. It says, Shalom, brothers. I've been in the truth since the pandemic first came in 2020.
Okay.
Prior to that, I never heard of IOIC, nor any teaching of this sort. Where in the New York City
Oh, man. Come on, man.
All right, here we go.
vicinity do you have a school? I want to be in the presence of like-minded people. Rena C., New York City.
Okay, well, we are in Mount Vernon, New York. You gotta go to the website and check us out. Go to the website, go to israelunite.org. Go to israelunite.org and go to the contacts, and you'll see the website where our locations are. We have one in New York. We have a headquarters, HQ in New York. You can go there and call first and foremost and get your information from there. But visit israelunite.org. Go to the contact section. You'll see we're located in New York. We have an HQ there, most definitely. All right.
The last one.
Yes.
Says, Shalom, were the Vikings really black?
Some, yes.
Stay tuned.
Some, yeah. Stay tuned. Vikings, pirates. You got some of that stuff. Yes. So yes, they were. Some, not all of them.
Right.
Some, not all of them. You got some niggas running around. Hey, my nigga.
Hey, my nigga.
Run that.
7 C's. Get this gold and whatever.
Where's my rum?
Oh my God. But yeah, we're gonna get into that in time. That's in time. All right. Just bear with us. All right. So Lord's will, we have more stuff for y'all. Abaddon, go ahead, man. Take it from here.
Hey, Israel, let's give Deacon another hand for that class. Fire. All praise to the Most High. Class yesterday was fire, and he's back again on the Sunday. All praise the Most High. Israel, if you like what you see, do not forget to donate to IOIC.Philadelphia@IsraelUnite.org on PayPal, all right? You can also go back and watch the old episodes, everything that Deacon has covered on our YouTube channel. You can go to Our Hidden History Radio, all right? You'll find all the classes that Deacon has went over. Also, don't forget to donate to the Booster Club. Shout out to all the leadership that is in Ghana right now doing the work of the Lord. We got the deacons, the captains, Captain Joel. All praise to the Most High. Be safe out there, Godspeed. You can donate to the Booster Club at IOIC.fundraising@IsraelUnite.org. Once again, IOIC.fundraising@IsraelUnite.org. All right? That's it, Deacon.
All right. So, Lord's will. See y'all next week. Tune in. We're going to continue the Persian captivity and eventually lead into the Great captivity. All right. So, shalom. Most High Christ bless. See y'all next week.
Shalom. Most High Christ bless.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know it? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know it? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now we going